I'm Zane, and I'll be discussing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and the consequences it has on our health, animals' health, and possible solutions for the future. As a lifeguard, I see the effects of trash in the ocean almost every day. And a 2014 Washington Post Consumer Report found that humans produce more than 8 billion tons of plastic, and only 10% of that has been recycled. So what is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? It's located in between Hawaii and California, and it's in a gyre, which is essentially just a circulating current that pulls things into it. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration defines it as ocean debris that is continuously mixed by wind and wave action and widely dispersed both over huge surface areas and throughout the top portion of the water column. The debris can be from any size, from large to small. The large can be abandoned fishing net, fishing wire, various fishing things, and they can be as small as microplastics, which are 5 millimeters in size. And the word patch can be a little misleading, but it's not a giant island of garbage, but more as a garbage over the surface and then down below into where you cannot see it. So this is what it looks like. There's a giant current that creates two gyres. One is the western and the eastern. We're talking about the eastern. That is referred to as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. But this is continuously spiraling, and it slowly brings in more and more plastic from off our shore and various other places. So it has a huge danger to animals. Animals will become entangled in whatever it is. Often it is fishing nets, because fishermen will no longer need this net, or something is wrong with it and they can't properly bring it onto the ship, so they'll just cut it loose. And as you can see by this turtle, animals will get trapped inside of it, and either they will be strangled by it, or they will lose the ability to properly hunt and get food for themselves because they're so inhibited by the net or whatever it is that they're inside of that they just simply die due to starvation. And second off, they will ingest the plastics. So this is where the microplastics come in, where fish will be thinking that there's food in front of them, but really it's a piece of plastic, and they eat this. When this happens, they will either die from being cut up internally as the plastic is going through them, or their stomachs will be filled up full of plastic, and this will cause them to not be able to properly eat, and they'll starve to death. And then invasive species will use the debris as vehicles of transport and will go hundreds of miles into a totally new environment, and they will kill off the native species because they have no predators. There's plastics in our fish. As you can see here, this fish was cut open and there's plastic all inside of its guts from eating plastic. A study by Foley et al. Found that plastic toxicity will climb up the food chain until the top predator has all the previous plastics in their stomach. This is a 2018 peer-reviewed study. This means as a little fish eats plastic, a big fish will eat that little fish, and then a shark can eat this big fish, and that shark will now have the little fish's plastic and the big fish's worth of plastic inside its guts. And considering that we are the top predator, we eventually get this plastic inside of our guts. It's very dangerous because little is known about what this does to us as humans. We can get plastics from other items such as salt, tap water, beers, and even honey. But a huge contributor is seafood. Also, there's a danger to vessels that a lot of people wouldn't think about. The debris or nets will get caught in the ship's propellers, and there can be various items that just hits the hull of it, and that can pierce it or just cause expensive damage that people don't want to deal with. This is a really basic chart just showing how it works. There's plastics that makes its way to the ocean. Those become microplastics. Fish then eat the microplastics. We eat the fish. It's inside of us. So what happens if we don't change? Well, the ocean will obviously continue to get worse, and we honestly don't know. We just know that it will continue to hurt the environment and the fish and us. The location and the size of the gyre, or the patch, is likely not to change anytime soon. We can slow the growth of the patch by polluting less, or else the environment and our own health will continue to suffer further. There are some potential solutions. There are many companies out there trying to fix this problem, but I specifically chose the Ocean Cleanup Organization because they were a Kickstarter that received funding and are now a full-fledged business. So this is how they plan on helping collect all the trash. Cleaning the ocean is a daunting task, and they have a parachute that will be underneath the water. This will slow the large net that is connected to the parachute. As the wind current, or as the wind direction takes it, the net will be a lot slower because of the parachute compared to the plastics. So the plastics will continue to get caught. They'll be caught, and eventually they'll be captured. They'll continue to accumulate, and then eventually they will come in, or maybe a third party will come in and collect all the trash that has been caught, and then re-release the system back into the environment where it can properly continue cleaning. So what can you do at home? Well, clean your beaches. You can stop the plastic from actually entering the ocean, where it's a lot easier to grab when it's on a beach versus in the middle of the ocean 200 feet down. Recycle. Helps the environment. Everyone knows, just recycle when you can. And then finally, using clean alternatives. A reusable bag, reusable bottle, reusable items. Because removing microplastics from the ocean is nearly impossible, and there's no real cost-effective way to do so. And here are my references, and thank you for listening.